Hello. We are back. I am T. Jane, and thank you for watching, giving us something to talk about. I am here with my special guest, who I love dearly. Her name is Rozalyn Mitchell. I want you all to welcome her to the show. Welcome, Rozalyn.
Thank you.
Rozalyn is married, and she's been married to her husband, Matt, for 17 years. She has 3 children, Matthew, who we call Ryan, Madeline, who we call Maddie, and Morgan. She has a BA in communications and a minor in political science. She's very intelligent, everybody. She has a master's degree in communications. She's also been in the education field for over 14 years. She is a licensed minister with Jabula Worldwide Ministries. Is it Jabula?
Jabula.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I meant to ask that earlier. It's Jabula. Don't say Jabula. Jabula. Her and her husband were recently consecrated as sheepfold pastors with Embassy Covenant Church there in, where is that church located?
Wall Lake, Michigan.
In Wall Lake, Michigan. Beautiful ministry. She is known for taking friendship seriously. Now, let me tell you, Rozalyn is my goddaughter. And she has been for many years. And when I first met her, I just fell in love with her. She is a woman that is not unlike me, a woman of order. She loves things as they should be. But Roz is not a fair weather friend, okay? When she calls you a friend, you are her friend for life. And she is going to friend you all the way through. So just know that she takes friendship seriously. And she is also about her calling to build community with faith, family, and fostering meaningful connections. Rosie, welcome again. I'm so glad to have you here.
So excited to be here. So honored.
I'm excited to have you here. Yes, you have something to talk about. Mm-hmm. So we called you here. Wanted to interview you because at the time when we first had scheduled, I wanted you to talk about balancing your career and your family and ministry as a pastor, because I think you had just been consecrated not long. Okay, and so then vitiligo, although it was there,
right,
it seemed like it progressed.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, okay, there are people who are dealing with this journey of vitiligo. Mm-hmm. And so before we get into that, though, I do want you to talk about your life as a mother, wife, mother, pastor, educator. What's going on here?
Like you said, I'm 17 years in, which is...
I did that wording, by the way.
She did. It was great.
Yes, it was.
17 years in, and it's interesting because this is the same amount of years my parents were married before they got divorced.
Oh, wow.
So
you're looking to surpass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's like one of those things that just like kind of just stays like in the back of your mind as like, I did it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But we're so far from that. Boy is stuck with me. Okay. That man, I don't care if we got to live in 2 separate rooms. And to say you are stuck with me.
He is.
And I'm stuck with him. So happily. But yeah, 17 years married, 3 children. My son is in the 8th grade, and it's crazy because I'm like, you're going to high school next year, and then you know what that means. Like, he's going to be out the house, you know? High school goes so fast.
It does.
Maddie is just growing up so beautifully. She's had some rocky, spaces, but she's just like found her place.
And how old is she?
She's 11.
Okay.
But she's in 6th grade. So, she's finding her place, finding her voice. Okay. And then there's Morgan. And Morgan is just our little, obviously you can see how I said her name. Morgan, she is the baby. And she's named after, she's my maiden name. Yeah, my maiden name. So, and she's just a joy. I had her at 34. And something, we have a baby later in age, is something about like knowing how fast it goes. And also just being in a different place mentally, having more experience and being able to like kind of take a step back and really enjoy it more.
Yes.
And then not worrying about certain things that you worried about with the first 2.
Yes.
And so yeah, so she's just our little completer.
How old is Morgan?
She's 6.
She's 6.
So her and Elle are like 6
my granddaughter.
weeks apart, best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just, we're just moving through a lot of life right now. Churches, a lot of our life being sheepfold pastors.
So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go ahead. We can flow. Tell me about that. What is that about?
So basically, at Embassy Covenant Church International, we have this model where when people come into the church, they're placed into different groups. We call them sheepfolds. Mm-hmm. And over each sheepfold, we have pastors, which me and Matt were consecrated into.
So is it like a separate church, or is it just within the body?
It's the same church. Mm-hmm. It's basically a way for everyone to be connected.
Okay.
But we are like pastoring people, like legitimately. Mm-hmm. We can get up to 100 people in each sheepfold.
Oh, wow.
I have about 70 now in our sheepfold.
Okay.
And so I just did this the other day, like you were reaching out consistently. So I sent out some text messages, checking in text messages. How can I pray for you? How can we support you? Mm-hmm. Just making sure that we kind of keep in touch and connected with people. Mm-hmm. It's easier for the people who come to church consistently and we're talking to them. Mm-hmm. It's a little harder for some people when they, some people just come to church and they just join on the whim, or they're placed into a sheepfold. And however you put into something is how much you'll get out of it.
Okay.
And that's in anything, but we see that in church too. So those who really they want to move forward and involve, it's easier to really move them through the process. And it's just a little bit harder to move people through and connect them when
they're not participating.
Yeah, or they just kind of feel like, that's my church. I'm cool. I don't really need to do all of that. But we still are there for them. We shepherd them. We pray for them. We support them. We have events. We are their call. Okay. So if in the middle of the night something happens, we're the people they call.
Okay.
We do have critical care pastors. I think I was telling you about that. Who can help supplement for those emergencies where we can't really get to them, especially those in the middle of the night emergencies. Right. And so there are about 10 sheepfolds in the church, with us even being in the sheepfold. All the leaders are in our pastor sheepfold.
Wow.
I mean, you're talking about literally discipling people, taking out time of your life to make sure that people have what they need. Burden, I would say, is one of those type of burdens that you're happy to do. Okay. It feels like a righteous burden, right? Not obligation, but duty. And there's also, thankfully, the Holy Spirit who I can literally feel him helping me to do this work, almost like a mantle.
Wow.
Okay. That I'm like, is this me saying this and doing this? And in moments, I really feel the help of the Holy Spirit, really helping us to do this work. And the funny thing is, all the sheepfolds consist of spouses, like a husband and wife pastor. But because the church is so women heavy, that I do a lot of the actual pastoring work because a lot of our sheepfold women are single.
Okay. And
it's not that he couldn't obviously, shepherd single women or whatever, but we're also very mindful of how if I can be the one to talk about more personal things than I am. And so he deals with more of the married couples. I deal with more of the single women. And so
that was my question. I was going to ask, how do you all
kind of
divide it or separate it? Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Go ahead. You were saying that's great.
He kind of takes on the married people, and I take on the single women, and all women. Any of the women. They still talk to me, but when it comes to when we're trying to connect and reach out and make sure we're touching base, I'm the one that's usually doing the calls for the women who are single.
Okay.
It's for everyone to feel connected, to feel involved, to feel a part of our family. At Embassy, we talk about being in covenant with each other. And that's important because when you look at something as, you can say, oh, that's my brother or sister in Christ. Yeah. But when you say I'm in covenant with them, then you know that there are almost these, I won't say rules, but these, like I said, duties, right? I'm in covenant with you, you're in covenant with me. So it's not like you can just leave that.
Right. And you're going to drop it.
Yeah. You can't just break it. And so, that's how we move ours and just make sure that she had what she needs.
So it sounds like you are there. They know that they can be, you be there for them. They have access to you. They can touch you. It's nothing no separation, but there's a connection. And so that's been built and will continue to be built.
And so it's just one of those things. The whole point is about the people. It's to serve the people best. Right. So if serving the people best means that they feel more comfortable in this space, then you move into the space. It's not personal.
Okay. And then you still are in a part of the whole church.
We're still a part of the whole church. Yeah. We still do things as a whole church as well. So
I wanted to go back to something because it triggered me. Okay. You mentioned about, 17 was the point when your parents divorced. Mm-hmm. And so you had a mindset of, I'm going to make it over this hump. Mm-hmm. I had that same mindset with my husband who had been married before. Gotcha. They were married 14 years. Okay. And my goal was to get past that, where we're at 29 this year. Mm-hmm. So we made it. Yes. But I want to go back to, you mentioned a divorce, and I want to talk about that. Okay. Because I know that you were married for life. You said, Matt has you forever, and same probably for him, I'm sure. How did that? I mean, how did it really affect you?
The divorce? Mm-hmm. Oof! Now we in deep now. Mm-hmm. It affected me a lot. Actually, I would say it was probably the thing that affected me the most in my life, because what happened after the divorce, like when a family kind of splits apart, there's so many things that can kind of take place after that. Mm-hmm. So we'll go before the divorce. I was 12 when my parents got divorced. So I grew up for, almost a teenager with two parents in the home. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like my parents got divorced at the time that I was most formidable. Mm-hmm. The time where I was kind of developing a lot of my thoughts and ideologies about life, about who I was as a person, my identity. And when my parents got divorced, first, when they, literally the day that they got divorced, I remember that too. I was in 6th grade, in school. I remember thinking, my parents are getting divorced right now. But we'll figure it out when we get home. Mm-hmm. We got home. Everybody gets home, except for my dad. My dad did not come home. We didn't hear from him for 2 months. Okay. We didn't know where he went. We didn't know anything. Mm-hmm. I thought the time was shorter, but my sister, who's 5 years older than me, who has so much more knowledge of everything that happened, is no, everybody calls me Rozzy. You do too, but, she's no, it was 6 months. It was 2 months. Wow. We didn't know where it was. We wrote letters or whatever. And after that, he kind of came back, but he was never daily in our lives again. So, that affected me, I think, in a great portion, having that part of my identity not be there, because what happens is, in a single parent home, my mom did the best that she could. She worked hard. I always give her props. She did everything, but she could only do what she could do, right? And she's only responsible for half of my identity in essence, right? That's good. And so what happens is when you only get one part, you're imbalanced. And so what I found myself is being imbalanced in my identity, being imbalanced in my ideologies, the way I thought, even some of the fears that I have come from, because technically, or not technically, but generationally in my mom's side of the family, there's this generation of fear that has just kind of permeated through the lines. And so that's just, these are things that happen, right? It's no one's fault type of thing when it comes to my mom and the things that get kind of passed on if you don't even realize it. And then you got to think about it. She's a boomer. There's no therapy. No. They are tough. Okay, we are. Yes, we are tough. Get it done. We be all right. Whatever you have to do. Dying inside, mental health struggling, but they ain't committing suicide. And not against anyone, that happens. What's that saying? But did you die? Right. That's just their mindset. Death is not even an option. It's not even a thought of as a way out. And I know that kind of comes down from even just slavery and civil rights and that kind of mindset being, and then also because they also just went into the work field. Then us millennials come in and we went to school. And so we got education, outside of our parents. And so we're more broadly, I don't know, the thought is more broad about a lot of things. But my mom was really tough. More open, I think. It's more open. Yeah. Because I was raised, I'm a boomer. Right. So it's you a late boomer, though, yeah, right? But it's still the structure you came through. Yeah.
And now you all, even Shelby, I see the difference in us. Yeah. Well, go ahead.
We break it up just a little bit. But I will say, though, being raised by a boomer was great. At the same time, I feel like boomers taught their kids how to be tough. And I have a level of toughness that I have. I have an edge. I grew up in Detroit. I'm from Detroit. Like DPS, right? And D-Dot to school.
Where'd you go?
I went to Mackenzie High School. Riding D-Dot to school, knowing that when somebody is walking on the side of the street with you, crossing the street to the other side, knowing which places the stray dog is, and knowing how you have to be ready to run, and I show up with my Detroit edge too, which I'm proud of. I'm really proud to be from Detroit. But there was an imbalance. All that to say, not my mom's fault in any way.
So how did you overcome? I know Jesus. I know that. And I know work. Did you go to therapy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in therapy now. I've been in therapy consistently since I started therapy for some other stuff. Maybe 2016. I was going through, that trial I was going through. That was really bad. That was my first experience with therapy. We weren't really a fit, though, and that's how therapy works. Like, you have to find somebody who's a good fit for you. She was my first experience with therapy, and then I had postpartum depression with Maddie. So when I was pregnant with Morgan, I wanted to get ahead of it. So I had a few therapy sessions there. But through like all the stuff from my parents being divorced, my dad kind of not being there. When you're a single mom, like, you take on so much. There's a lot that just can happen in the relationships with your children too. And so me and my mom had a lot of negative things happen between us. This was also generational though, right? Like, her and her mom had things, and her mom had things. And it's been like that for generations. Wow. And having postpartum depression with Maddie, she was the only baby that I have that I didn't feel that instant bond with, because she was born prematurely. I had, stayed 10 weeks in the hospital.
That's right.
Yes. Before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming back. 10 weeks in the hospital to be, up like the total time up until when my water broke into having her. And so she went to the NICU. I didn't even get to touch her. I got to kind of see this little white baby passing by me with my glasses off. And I didn't even see her, like, to touch her until the next day. Wow. So you know how the Bible talks about how, like, when a woman is in travail, and how when she gives birth, how, like, the pain disappears for the joy that is received. Well, I didn't get that joy, right? That oxytocin that kind of happens that allows you to build that love gene and bond with your baby. I had the pain before I had the joy. The pain from the C-section came back, all of the things. And so I didn't even get to see her until the next day. And it's funny because that year, there was a reunion concert at IGC, and I was like, I had a lot of like, oh, I'm just missing so much. And I remember going to the concert. She was in the NICU again. She had went in for 3 days. And when it was time to go get her that night, I didn't want to go get her. And I was like, something's not right. I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't feel like I could tell anybody, because I was like, this is shameful, right? Like, who doesn't want to go get their baby?
I understand that.
And so I knew then that I was like, that's when the postpartum depression like started kind of coming in. I dealt with it intensely for about like almost a month or two. I had to stop breastfeeding because I just couldn't do it. Like, it was really bad. But I knew, like, it was crazy, like, how you can be in your right mind and still like have these other things happening. When we would be home, I would pick her up to feed her. I would do things, but I would sit her down because I just couldn't. And Matt would come home, and I would pick her up, and I would say, love her, like, comfort her, because I know she needs this, but I just can't give it to her. Of course, they developed a bond like crazy, right? And it was about when she was 3 when I like woke up out of that. And I was like, oh, hi, I'm your mom.
That's a real thing.
You're cute.
Yeah.
Like, but I missed, how much did I miss, right? So fast forward to like when she's 7, I'm still working really hard to bond with this baby, this I love her to death, but there's just something missing.
Connection.
So I was like, I'm going to therapy. Because if anything happens between me and this little girl, it's going to be me. Like if the relationship between us is not what it should be, it's going to be because of me, because I'm her mother. And because I didn't do what I needed to do to make sure that that wasn't the thing that happened. So I started going to therapy every day. Not every day, Jesus.
Okay.
I would love that. Started going every week.
Okay.
Once a week, every week. And we worked specifically on that. I didn't want to have the generational issues of mother and daughter. Challenges. Now there's some challenges, but there is like these gaps and these big things that happen that like cause a lot of like turmoil. I didn't want that.
Okay.
So I was determined that if my relationship with my daughter was going to be good, it was going to be on me.
To you.
Yep.
That's great. That's great. I know you weren't planning on going that way, but we went that way anyway because somebody needed to hear that.
Amen.
So how do you take care of yourself while caring for so many others?
Doing stuff like this.
What do you mean? Interviews?
I mean, just doing stuff that is important to me still. It's so funny because my kids today, they will guilt you. Kids will guilt you. And I have to tell them, Maddie, that's my girl. And to say our relationship is going to therapy, like I had to realize that I had to literally like sacrifice my, like, I'm not a huge touchy-feely person. I can be. Maddie is like, her love language is touch. So she wants to hug you all the time. I was like, and I said, you know what? Every single time she hugs me, I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to sacrifice my desires or my whatever for what she needs. And now we be hugging all the time. Our relationship is very close. And saying that to say, when I was leaving today, she's like, you leaving again? My kids do this to me all the time. Now, when I'm in that house, though, with
they don't have nothing to say. But your presence is there.
And it's my presence. But I have to even say to them, I said to her, I said, Maddie, if I was here, what would you be doing with me when I was here? I said, would you be on the other side watching TV? I was like, yeah. So when I'm here, I said, spend time with me. Like, come on the other side with me. Let's watch a movie together. And I do stuff for my kids all the time. Of course. But I think I want my kids to know that I know a lot of people think that moms and dads should sacrifice their entire life for their kids. I am not one of that belief. I do not believe you should sacrifice your entire life for your kids, especially because they're going to grow up and leave you and have their own kids. And you're going to be sitting up looking down. Exactly. And also because you need to also be fulfilled and your kids need to know and see what it looks like to have a full life.
That's right.
And so my daughters will know what it is to like to have a full life. They'll know what it is to like to be a friend, to be in ministry, and to do all of these things with the help of the Lord. I was at a women's conference recently at the Ark, and somebody was asking about balance. Like, is balance possible? And I'm like, no. And they're like, I don't think we can find balance, right? Balance means that everything is equal, right? But the lady there that was on the panel, she said, someone once said to her that we need to look at our lives almost as a portfolio. How we have all of these different things that require a different amount of our time and space. So mothering is like a huge portion of my life. Work is a huge portion, friendship, church, but there are smaller portions in comparison, right? They're not all equal. Like when it comes to the church things and pastoring things, if my family is sick or something, I'm going to sacrifice that for my family, right? But what she said was, whatever you're doing in your portfolio, whatever you're putting your attention to at that time, give 100% to it at that time. And that was so helpful. So like right now, I'm here. So I'm giving 100% of my time to this. Right. When I'm with my friends, you can ask them, I'm very rarely on my phone. I'm giving my 100% time to them. When I'm with my kids, if they want to actually be with me and spend time with me, I'm giving them the time, that 100%. That's good. And so that's the way that you can not necessarily achieve equal balance, but that's the way that everything in your life can have the time that it needs. That's good. That's really good. So that's what I like to look at it as that way. I offer my kids to come with me in spaces like when I'm going to be gone grocery shopping, even though they're like, you leaving, I'm going to the store. You want to come with me? No, I'm good.
That's not anything that benefits them in their mind.
Right.
But you get to eat.
You get to eat.
Let me ask you this, because you mentioned it. And I know you, and I think about this all the time when it comes to you. Friendship.
Okay.
What is that in you that makes you so dedicated or committed to friends?
I think friendship is so underrated. I think also, I've been married for a long time, and I think that when people get married, I think that they feel like they're supposed to get everything from their spouse. And how taxing would that be to have to provide everything to your spouse or for them, and I don't know why. I think community is a really big thing for me. I don't think that we should do anything alone being the youngest child. I think some of these ideologies just come from just my place in life. Being the youngest, I didn't really do much on my own until my siblings left the house. And I did everything on my own. And that's how I kind of feel like the oldest sometimes. I have oldest energy, let's just say that. I never feel like the oldest. But if you talk to my sister, she was there's a lot of things that are similar with us. But she's really the reason why I'm good with friendships. She's always been a great big sister, even when she was stingy. She was stingy.
I can never believe that, but okay. You didn't lean in.
Listen, when Londa, she came back, I'm telling you. When she came back from college, because we're 5 years apart, so she graduated college. I was beginning my senior year. She came home. We shared a room. And she would not share her clothes with me for anything. Clothes? It was a sweat. I'm in my senior year of high school. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And this is why I found out I was poor. No, for real. Because I just, my mom was really doing the best that she could. But she didn't work when my parents were married. So she started working after then. I mean, that was normal. It was the 80s. A lot of people were stay-at-home moms. So she had to work 2 and 3 jobs sometimes, and she would get one good job, but she was doing really, the best she could. So when I was asking her for things, and she would be like, I'm like, it doesn't feel like it's that much. And then it literally dawned on me. One day I woke up and I was like, oh, we're poor. And I was like, okay,
you're good.
I was like, okay. My mom was doing the best she can. She wasn't withholding from me. And it changed. Couldn't. Yeah, she literally just couldn't do it. So my sister wasn't sharing her clothes. I didn't have a lot. I got a lot of hand-me-downs. I got a lot of, I had stuff I didn't grow for a long time. So I just had the same stuff from 9th grade to 12th grade, type of thing. And I didn't really get a lot of stuff from my dad. So I was looking at my sister's closet she wouldn't share her clothes, but she shared everything else with me. Okay. It's she helped me to kind of really navigate relationships with women. And I think the divorce also helped me in this area. Because divorce is a breaking of covenant. It's a breaking of a lot of things, community, and a lot of things, especially that happened once our parents got divorced. I didn't spend as much time with my dad's side of the family anymore. We were very close. My mom's side of the family lived in Lansing, but because of divorce on that side, I didn't know cousins. All these different things that you don't realize marriage kind of brings together. And so I've always just been one to feel like we're not breaking covenant. And I also feel I think I do what I would want people to do unto me. I think mainly, sometimes I do more than I think what people need to do, possibly for me. I don't necessarily expect the level that I do. I expect from people, I think, the level at their best, because I give my best. Your best might not look like mine, but if I know it's your best, then I'm good. But friendship is important. I get so much from my friendships. Legitimately, Matt is so happy I have friends too.
Wait, what?
He told me this one time.
I can't.
Because think about it, if I don't have friends, then that means all my time is just him. We spend a lot of time together. We do everything together. We talk about everything. There's no topic off. Me and Matt are very close. He is my best friend. but he also wants to go do stuff by himself. He wants to go golfing. I don't want to go golfing.
Or he want to sit in the room by himself. He just
want to watch sports. Okay. Or he just, whatever. Everything. Like Matt is a very much like he with the kids right now. He with the kids all the time. Because he's their parent.
Exactly.
He doesn't babysit.
He's not the babysitter. He's the parent.
He's there. He said no first to something. I was like, oh, so we can say no?
Yes, you can.
And that's kind of how, like, we got into, but the friendship is just really important to me. I do go out for my friends because I believe life, right? And so, and because, like, blood makes you relatives, but it doesn't always make you family.
No, it doesn't.
And my friends have become my family. And my family knows this because it's their family now, right? And so I believe that friendship requires commitment. I believe that friendship requires loyalty and dedication. And I believe Kyra taught me this too recently. She said to me, like, what a blessing it is to have a friend and have friends who, when you need things, they can do them. For her wedding reception, for their renewal wedding reception, she got me like 2 weeks before. Like, hey, can you help with the reception? Well, yeah, I can. I had like 10 years of experience doing this with you, right? And speaking experience and all of these things. And so what a blessing it is to be able to be called on by your friends because they're your friends.
That is a blessing.
They're not just associates. They're not just random people. There was no expectation for money or anything. These are my friends. So if I have, and my community knows this, whatever I have is theirs. And that's the church. I actually get this model from the early church of Acts, that we are supposed to actually be this tight in covenant with each other. They were eating dinner together, praying with they were together all the time. Yeah. And they were selling everything they had for the greater of the good. So whatever I have,
gospel.
Yep. And why were people attracted so much to this community of people? Because they saw how much they loved each other. It wasn't because they were speaking in tongues and prophesying. It was the love that they had for each other, that they would risk their lives. They would sell their own things. Like our culture is very selfish. We don't think of, we're not a collective culture. There's some cultures in Africa and some Asian cultures that are collective. We see Arabic cultures, they're collective. They'll live in the same generational in the same house so that, their kids. And so that, and then what they'll do is they'll all sacrifice. I don't know if you know this, but they'll all sacrifice and give into one person's business. And then that builds up and then they'll do it for another person. That's awesome. And so, and I'm just a person of my word too. I think that if you say you're going to sell, the Bible says that your yea be your yea and your nay be your nay. And of course, there's always situations where circumstantial, but generally, if you say you're going to do something, you should do it.
Your word is your bond.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Bible, but I think that's the Bible.
Yea, yea, nay, and nay.
Yeah, but that particular saying.
Yeah. No.
That's so good. This is so good. But I have to get on your painting.
My painting?
Your painting.
My painting. Okay.
So let's talk about it. What is it?
Okay, what is vitiligo? Okay. First vitiligo, and I don't claim it as mine anymore.
Okay.
So I might refer to it as this or or whatever. This journey. I definitely say this journey of.
Okay.
And I don't claim it because I don't believe any disorder is from God. And so if he was to make me whole, I would be like, shoot, bye, vitiligo. I'm okay with that. It's just like claiming anxiety or depression or anything that God does not actually desire for you. Not to say we're not going to deal with these things, right? And not to say that we're not going to be all up in the clouds, right? We're going to deal with the reality of what we're going through, but we're going to also always be open to the Lord doing whatever he wants to do in our lives, either with it or even healing us from it. So vitiligo is an autoimmune disorder. The best way to describe it is to basically say that my body is viewing my melanin as an invader. Yeah, that's why it's like, that's how you know it's not of God, right? Because it's destroying the thing that God like actually made you to be, right? So it sees it as an invader and it seeks to eliminate it. That's what vitiligo is. It's an autoimmune disorder. Like, oh, invasion, gotta go.
So, do you take anything medication?
I don't. Medication just came out, like FDA approved medication. Just came out. It's called Opzelura, I think it is. That just came out. I believe it's a topical medication that you can take for repigment. Most autoimmune disorders are gut disorders.
So what?
Gut disorders. So they are related to our gut biome, what we eat, our stress. Like everything is in the gut, right? Your immune system is basically in your gut. And so there are people who self-heal by like cutting out, like going extreme with their foods, cutting out a lot of things. I've seen one guy do like this extreme, like vitamin D intake. And I can't take a lot of vitamin D without it, like currently I think it's just like a part of, the disorder that is happening. You can also repigment from like sun exposure, which you have to be careful because also can burn from sun exposure. But the interesting thing is, okay, so like the parts of my skin that have melanin can be prone to skin cancer if I spend too much time in the sun without sunscreen. The parts that don't have melanin they can only just be burned. Because it's melanoma, right? Melanoma is like the cancer of the skin.
Right, okay.
It attaches to the melanocytes. So where I don't have melanin, I can't have skin cancer. So, I mean, if you're going to look at the positive thing that comes out of it, right? But people also do creams. I was first diagnosed in 2020. My first spot started, I think, when I was either 29 or 30. And I absolutely, now that I know, like things that trigger it are like major stress events in your life. It lies dormant in you, right? So it can also be hereditary. I have an aunt who has vitiligo.
Oh, okay.
My dad's sister.
On that side, okay.
Yeah, she has vitiligo. But it can lie dormant and then like something triggers it. And so it could be, say, a major car accident or a major stressful event. I believe that time that I spent in the hospital with Maddie over those weeks, which put a lot more stress on my body. I had to mentally go to a place, but it was definitely just a more stressful time. I believe that's when it triggered initially. I had just like this one small spot on this finger, my middle finger, and it slowly just grew. And I was like, I don't know what this is. It doesn't hurt. I didn't think nothing of it. When I had Morgan, after I had Morgan, around December, I had her in August. In December, I did this and I looked at my hands and I was like, I could see my hands slowly lightening. Like I have pictures of like this, like these spots. And I remember going to work and I had a coworker that I'm still pretty close to now. We don't work at the same job, but I was like, she was the only person I said something to. I was like, I think I might be having, like, I might have vitiligo. And she was like, okay. And I was like, I don't want vitiligo, And she was like, if you have it, you do. Nothing will change about you. And that was like the first, oh, okay. She was like, vitiligo, not vitiligo, whatever. Like, you still be the same person, right? And so that was December. And then that was the year, that was like right before COVID. And COVID happened, which is more stress, but it was already happening. And that's when I was diagnosed in 2020. Just through, honestly, we could only do like video calls at that point. Right. And that's when I was diagnosed. And then that's when I really started to see like a lot of it. Yeah. Consistently.
So is it progressing?
Oh yeah. Always.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Like I find new spots all the time. All the time. Yeah. And that can be very difficult actually sometimes for me. Like the journey of having vitiligo is very interesting. Because my head always goes to like, I saw a picture of a woman who had vitiligo she was completely different from when she had melanin and when all her melanin was gone. And I was like, and that's what I think about. It's like not even looking or being and recognizing the person that and I guess it's a slow progression, right? So you get that opportunity to slowly consistently deal with these changes over time, but it doesn't make it necessarily easier all the time. And so, but at the same time, I don't see myself all the time, right? Like vitiligo is not painful.
Right.
So imagine like going through and you have like your hair sticking up, right? And you don't even know it. It's not really bothering you until somebody say, girl, you know your hair been sticking up all day. And so sometimes it's not that I forget that I have it, but it's not always the most active, like forefront thought in my head, like until people start like staring. Or kids are like I started working at the elementary school. Like, why are you two colors? You know, or like, and the funniest thing was because I said, I just got to get ahead of this thing because kids are just honest, you know. And I was in the lunchroom. I work at elementary school. This is last year when I started working there because kids were just asking all the time. So I said, let me just go ahead and address it. And I asked, you never ask a kid, what do you think this is and why? And they're like, you are burnt. And I was like, this is actually not a bad, you know, thought because it does happen when a lot of burnt people, their skin colors change. I was like, okay. One kid was like, you are mixed. And almost like I was mixed, but I guess I didn't get fully shaken together. So I was kind of swirly, you know, like mixed. And I was like, that's cute. There was only maybe like one kid that actually really knew this because his sister had vitiligo. She was also a student at the school. So she knew immediately and I knew immediately. But you know, in darker skin, it's more visible. And so what people, first of all, like it's more commonly accepted now, I guess, than it was because of like Winnie Harlow and thank you, Winnie Harlow. And because it's just like we're in an interesting time. I won't say that. We're in an interesting time when it comes to acceptance. And like, especially since like COVID and so it's like 2020 and more, like we're in a generation of acceptance, which is great to an extent, right? Because it can be harmful in some other ways. But, so it's a lot easier because it's just a lot more prevalently known, right? Like people know, like, especially my Black kids, they're like, you don't know what that is? That's vitiligo. Michael Jackson had that, you know? Yes. But because of, you know, nuances in culture, it's just more, you know, more known, more accepted. And so that's like a really good thing. But for a lot of people who deal with vitiligo, it comes with depression. Because who you are, how you look is very much tied a lot of times to your mental, and that stuff can weigh very heavily on people. And so it's been one of these like journeys for me. Yeah. And being honest, I was in Cancun, for the wedding that I was in over the summer, and we were able to go out to dinner with our pastors, and I started talking, right? Like now I already noticed okay, so a lot of people see my hands, they see a little bit of my elbows, they see my lips, but they don't know it's like my feet are now having on my knees are starting a little bit. So it's like when I see like new spots, it's just this reminder that it's still progressing, right? And it's funny because my pastor was like, oh, I thought you were like just kind of good with it. And I was like, I'm good with it to the extent that I'm not going to allow it to like mentally overtake me, right? Like, is this like the thorn in my flesh type of thing? You know what I mean? Like, is his grace sufficient for me? And I believe his grace is sufficient for me. And I believe that there's a lot of purpose in this as well, because he uses everything, right? He wastes nothing. Pray for me. Like, even if the progression just stops, I would be okay with that, right? Like, you know, like those are just some of the things that I deal with. But generally, it is what it is. You know, I've come into this place where like it's not hindering me from anything. No, I've learned how to deal with a lot of the stares. You know, I know people are more curious than anything. And so, especially when kids come up to me, because babies are so amazing. Babies look at my hands and they're like, and they have to like touch it. To go around. Yeah, because they're like, it's so different. So when little kids come up and when they're kind of like, I just put my hand out and I say, you want to touch it? Because they're kind of feel like it's going to be different. It has to be different.
Does it hurt or something?
Yeah, or like even like it's going to stick out or it's going to hurt them, not realizing like, no, it's just like it's underneath, it's skin deep. And so when they get a chance to touch it and sit, they're like, oh, okay.
She's good.
And they just kind of move on from it. Yeah. Like, and it just is what it is. Adults kind of know what it is. They don't say much. And they don't stare as much either.
So what would you say to somebody who's just experiencing that? Like I have a mark. And my doctor told me,
that mark?
And I've had it for years.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, you have vitiligo.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah, she literally said that. And I'm like, okay. This is like 25 years later. Same mark.
Man, that's not vitiligo.
And it could be, though. But
it could be. Vitiligo is so dynamic that it can show up in so many different ways. You can have one spot and that'll be it for the rest of your life. It can spread and stop. It can repigment. I have what is it called? Oh my gosh. Basically what happens on one side of my body happens on the other side of my body. So like, if I lose it here, I'm losing it. If I start losing on my pinkies, like you see how this pinky is kind of almost gone. This pinky will be almost gone too. And it kind of like if you look at my hands, it matches a lot. Yeah. And it matched more. Like when I had more pigment, you could see the designs and how it matches. And I kind of lose it in the same spaces at the same time.
Okay.
So that's one way of having vitiligo. And so if someone is starting with vitiligo, it's a personal journey. There are people who I would say to someone, do what makes you feel best about yourself. What someone once told me was the best medicine was acceptance. Because then you're like, you just stop trying so hard. It costs a lot to do all these things. Like some people wear makeup.
The one guy on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
The news guy.
I can't think of his name. Lee Thomas. There it is. Yep, he wears a lot of makeup. His hope, because he's completely like depigmented. If you ever go to his Instagram page.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So he wears makeup and I'm like, whatever you feel like you need to do for you. Some people use the medicine. Some people are afraid of medicine. We're all like, I'm in a vitiligo community too.
Are you?
On Facebook. And so that's often an encouraging place.
What's the name of it? Are you able to leave? You don't know. Just the vitiligo community. Okay. She'll give me the information later and I'll post it. Okay.
And people just join, like if they have vitiligo or their kids have vitiligo. And
so what are you asking questions or talking
You can ask questions. You talk about it. People may post things. Of course, the things has to be like approved by whoever's over the community. And there's a lot of encouragement in there. It's just kind of like a place where people who understand what you're going through are, and you can kind of, have that spot. And it's a lot of encouragement though. Like people who've had vitiligo for a long time are probably the most encouraging because they've like, once I just accepted it, like my life took off and you can see like they're just living their life. And so I kind of took that in. A lot of that is like, listen, it's almost that one time. It's almost like Paul says, like, just, be content, whether you're base or bound, like, find yourself being content wherever you are. And so I'm just trying to find myself to be consistently content and also know that, God is with me in this journey, right? Like I may have vitiligo until he comes or I die. Thankfully, I'm not in any pain. You know what I mean? Thankfully, it's not actually hindering my life. And so those are like always finding something grateful to be about, grateful to find in the situation, right? I'm good, honestly. It does sometimes affect how I see myself like physically, right? But generally, I'm okay. Like I would prefer it to be here.
Could it just been like down there?
Like I didn't want it on my lips. I did not want it on my lips.
It looks like lipstick.
Now it looks like a lip liner because so much of it has gone away. So like that's the benefit. Like as it's going away, right? But I had to get to that point because at first it didn't, right? Like it was just very like blotchy, and so I didn't like it. And so now I'm like, okay, it's cool, but sometimes I still would prefer a little darker lip. So every now and then, like I get tinted like lip glosses. I'm not a big lipstick person, but I give me a tinted lip gloss, you know, just to put a little color in it. I'm like, oh, if it was by the eye a little bit, that'd be all right. But I don't want it in my ears because you can actually lose your hearing.
Really?
Yes, there is melanin in your eardrum.
What?
Yes, it's so deep. Yes. So I'll be like, Lord, just don't let it go to my ears.
Cover my ears,
yes,
Lord.
Yes. Yeah. So you know, it could be your hair. You know, it's not necessarily all gray hair. It could just be like you lose your melanin. Everywhere, anywhere, anywhere you can think of, it can be.
So if I didn't know that,
yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people,
and that's why we have you on here because we wanted to hear about it.
Yeah,
but you're beautiful no matter what.
Thank you. And June 18th is World Vitiligo Day.
June 18th, everybody. Yeah. So just remember that and pray for those that have vitiligo. They may not have the confidence that Roz has.
Yeah.
So we want to be praying for everybody. Okay, this has been awesome. I mean, we could talk for hours.
Honestly, we could,
but we don't have hours to do this. But I do want you to leave a word of encouragement for the people. Just anything that's on your heart, I want you to share that.
Anything that's on my heart. It's been a long week too, so you know, I think if I could encourage the people looking at my life from start to this point, I think my encouragement will be that God is with us through it all. The one thing that I could say consistently is that God was with me through it all. And that no matter what you're going through, that God is with you through it all. And even if, you know, it seems like, you know, there's just darkness, you know, the Bible says if I make my bed in hell, the Lord would be with me, you know, even there. And we look at Psalms 23, you know, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, thou art with me. And I will fear no evil. So I think if I could encourage you is to remember that God is with you through the ups, through the down, through the good and the bad. And that his plans are to prosper us. His plans are for good and not of evil. So the Lord is with you.
The Lord is with you. And on that note, this has been an awesome giving us something to talk about. Thank you, Rosie, for being here. I just love her. And we will talk to you soon. See you later.
Bye, guys.